Okay, well, let's get to call the order of the PPAC Landscape Subcommittee meeting. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance.
Bruce? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now we're going to do roll call. Vince Pagetto here.
Susan Atkinson.
Morgan Atkinson, feedback. Ted Greenlee.
Cindy Waterston.
Bruce Black.
All four Gateway Services.
Okay. Public comment. Is there any public comment?
No.
No.
Okay. Approval of meetings from April 23rd, 2026.
This is Mark. Can you do an order to allow me to participate in the meeting?
Okay. I would like to put in order that Mark Madersman can be part of our meeting on May 28th, 2026.
Extraordinary circumstances.
Right.
Cindy Waterston, second motion.
I'll say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, back to approval of the minutes of the last meeting, April 23rd. Anything to change?
I had one thing. Did we not vote at the last meeting to go ahead and pay for that electric meter? And I see it's on the agenda again for this time. I did not see it in the minutes for last time.
I think we did vote on that.
Which,
Yeah. For electric meter?
No.
Yeah, for irrigation.
No, I don't recall.
I don't either.
No.
I do. I remember we had a dialogue about it because I asked how many of these
Yes.
are there? And this fella here, I can't remember his name. Not Ed, the other fellow.
Oh,
Yes.
There was
Bob.
something about the
Bob,
cement
I
posts.
asked you how many are there in the community and Bob suggested we have or look at getting a grant to,
right.
yeah.
But he said just leave it alone.
No, I thought we voted to go ahead with the one.
Yes, just to clarify, yes, there was an electrical panel that was rusted out. I showed a picture of it. There was a motion to approve to replace that. Bentley Electric has replaced that. So is that not in the minutes, Mark?
That's not the one I'm referring to. I'm referring to the PPCA has been paying for an electric meter that does irrigation. And that was discovered that they've been paying for it for quite a while. And we agreed that we should have that responsibility. And I thought we voted to accept that responsibility. Ed had told us it's only like 10 or 12 bucks a month or something like that.
We did do that. We did.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah.
This was so minimal.
Anyway, that's not in the minutes for our last meeting, and it is on the agenda again for this meeting.
So can we just add it to the previous meeting?
Well, if I could just clarify, the item for this week's or this month's agenda has to do with a water meter, not an electric meter.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Different
it's a
issue.
different issue. So, but yeah, so today's item, which is, I believe the first item we're going to discuss, it has to do with water meter that is supplying water along a lake bank, and it's being brought forward for a vote from the landscape subcommittee for acceptance of that meter.
What do you do about the last thing?
So to go back to the electric meter that was voted last month, I'll have to research into that a little further.
Then we can add
Anyway,
that.
I didn't see it in the minutes.
So if it's not in the minutes, yes, I'll go back to the meeting and double check that.
It'd probably be good to have something in there about the discussion with Bob about the grant and stuff for future reference, you know.
Okay, I did put it on the staff updates because I did do some research to see if
Oh,
there's any
good.
grants available, but we could get to that when we get to the staff updates.
Okay.
Okay, so we're moving on to the fiscal year 2027. Public Conservative Landscape Meeting schedule, which
If
No,
go
we're
back,
on
so
financial
in
Yeah.
approval of the minutes with the,
Oh, okay,
with
sorry.
the, addition of the electric meter
Discussion.
discussion and the vote.
Okay,
We'll clarify that.
okay. Funny.
So if I can get a motion to,
Yeah, would somebody give a motion to adapt the minutes from last
I'll make a
meeting?
motion, Susan Atkinson.
I'll say
Approve the
aye.
minutes.
Somebody second it?
Cindy Waterson,
Cindy
second.
Watersman. I'll say aye.
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 Um,
Okay. Now, we're moving on to the financial report.
there is no financial report included in today's agenda.
Okay. Now, back to number 7, items for discussion. So we're going to move past the irrigation meter billing.
No, it's a
No.
separate.
7A, yes, 7A that's the item being brought forward today to talk about the water meter that was being paid by PPCA. And it should be the landscape subcommittee, or it should be the district under the landscape subcommittee. So this,
Cindy Waterson, is this the same that Mark was just talking about?
That's why I thought we just move on from that, because that's what he's talking about.
Yeah.
No, this is a water, Ted Greenland, this is a water meter, not an electric meter.
if I could just, get some clarification, Mark. So last month, you're referring to an electric meter, an FPL electric meter that was voted upon to accept and to be paid on a recurrent monthly basis. Is that correct?
Yes,
Okay, so that's an FPL meter that was discussed last month. Today, we are discussing a water meter that irrigates along a lake bank in Centrella that was discovered by Ed Hedges that was being paid by PPCA, but in error, it should be charged to the landscape subcommittee. Is that clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do
Yeah.
you have an estimate of that monthly cost?
I do not.
Just so we can have an idea of what we're talking about here.
I do not have that.
Can you guess? Like, I couldn't even guess.
This is gateway water?
Yes, well. Let's see.
So that's the area by
Right,
where the big Calusas are.
that's what it looks like, yeah.
Let me get back to the item. I apologize.
It was discussed yesterday at the board meeting.
Yes, it is a gateway account. And just by the account number listed, there is a gateway account.
Bye.
Cindy Waterson, so it's not really a matter of should we or shouldn't we, it's just we have to take it on.
We just have to
Because
vote
it's
on it
wrong.
and just say
Yes.
we'll accept it no matter what the cost is, because it's our
Responsibility.
issue. So anybody want to approve a motion to approve taking on this responsibility? Go ahead, Mark.
just a quick question is that this is the only example of this that I'm aware of at this time. Is this a unique situation where we're paying for a pond bank irrigation?
To my knowledge, yes. Yes, I mean, but I don't know if there's anything that existing today.
So there could be
There
others.
could be others, yes, but to my knowledge, since I've been here a year, this is the first that I've come across this.
And this is Bruce. Yesterday's board meeting, I believe this was brought up. If I'm not mistaken, I was listening remotely. They brought up about an area around Matarita 2 is now taken over by the gateway responsibility for maintenance. So this is probably on everybody's radar now.
Mhm.
So it may pop up again. Just a heads up.
Right.
Yeah, my only concern would be if that's true, Mark, maybe you know better than I, like, can we accommodate that in the budget if other issues like this come forward? Or would we have to amend the budget we put forth?
It depends on how much it is, which right now it doesn't seem like anybody's got a good handle on it. And how many more there may be out there.
That's.
Yeah, that's my only concern is, can the budget, but that's why I asked the question. If it's like the other issue where it's like $12 a month, I don't think it's impactful. If it's substantially more than that, I just have no idea,
Do we table it until we know what it costs?
We could table this to next month. That would not be an issue.
I think we should
It
table
is
it.
being billed to the 002 fund, but I could get some history on the billing history.
I think we should table it until we know exactly, because we could say yes to something that opens up a can of worms that are.
It's
Right.
This is Bruce. Our next meeting is in October, so we got time to just research it, but there might be more popping up between now and then.
right?
I wouldn't foresee this to be a substantial or large bill. These are pretty much typical irrigation meters, so whatever is typical throughout the community would probably what you'd be seeing on this particular account.
What is typical? I really don't know.
Okay, well then I definitely want to get back to the subcommittee on what's typical.
Okay, apologies, but
No,
I'm new
it's a good
and
question.
Might as well not jump into something we don't know anything about. And it's been okay for the last 10 years.
Right.
So a couple more months isn't gonna make any difference, I don't think.
Okay,
So do we have to do a motion to carry that over, or we just?
no, we
Table it.
table it. We'll move the item to October and revisit it. By then I'll have some
Okay.
history to it. So we'll just table it to October.
Okay, now we'll move on to the fiscal year 2027 landscape meeting schedule, which I have here. You have there. I tried to reserve the room, but I gotta re-drop off this form when they're open, when they're available to talk to me, but for the time being, I guess we're good. We'll see. A quick question, Mark. They asked me if there's optional dates, which we've never had to use an optional date before.
Yeah, we have around the holidays.
Well, that's why the 2 Fridays.
Right. No, that we have moved before if there was nothing available.
Okay, I'll find out once I get out of here. I'm going back into there when they're open. And this thing in. So, okay. Tree trimming discussion.
Can I get a motion?
Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting about those
the,
motions.
the schedule.
Okay.
This is Bruce. I put into motion that we accept the dates for the next several meetings going through September of 27.
Okay, somebody second it, please.
can I ask a question? Are we meeting in June, July and August?
We always put it on the
You
schedule.
just
reserved
keep it
for
on
now.
there? Okay.
It'll be the
that's
same
fine.
next year, probably.
Yeah, then we cancel the summer.
They're
Okay.
placeholders but they can
Yeah.
always be canceled at
Yeah.
any time.
Okay,
Cindy Waterston, second the motion.
I'll say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the tree trimming discussion, I'm guessing that's about around the streetlights.
Yes, so this item has already been addressed by PPAC, so there's no action that's needed on this item.
No, I've noticed ribbons on the trees that are supposed to be trimmed. What's the ribbons on the light posts?
They're gonna paint those.
Yeah.
Touch up the paint. They were scuffed up when they were installed.
Okay,
And that was one of the items when we did the punch list when trying to close the project. So the ribbons around the streetlight poles themselves will be touched up with paint.
okay.
The ribbons around the trees is what's been identified that needs trimming
Now, that cost come in lower?
in regards to.
We had an estimate of when they were gonna trim canopies and everything.
It's the same cost.
So it was presented to PPAC that they reduced the number of trees to 20 or something
Yeah.
like that.
56.
instead of 40, okay, but the cost reduction going from 40 trees to 20 trees was not significant. Okay, and P-PAC voted to do all 40 trees.
80.
Yes, yes.
So
We hold on for a second, and there's more to this. And if Susan would probably walk through it, because it's something we're going to address at a future meeting, how this all worked.
Sure. At the last meeting, when we discussed this, it was agreed that I would meet with Paul and the contractor to determine which trees actually impeded the lighting, which is a safety factor, and we all agreed we wanted to support the trimming of the trees that impeded the lighting. So Paul and I met with the contractor at 6 a.m, so it was dark and we could see. And we identified the trees that had limbs that interfered with the lighting. And we were able to reduce it to, I think, 51 trees, plus we identified 5 additional trees at the corner of Trieste and what's the name of that cross street? Paul?
Ravenna.
Ravenna, that needed to be trimmed that had not been included in previous trimming projects. And so in total, there were 56 trees, and the quote came in around, was it like 10,000?
Like 11, yes, it was somewhere. in
10,
between.
10 something. And the original quote was 12 something, I think.
Oh, 1,400,
Yes. And what I noticed in the second quote was the price per tree went from 155 to a little over 200 per tree for some reason. And when we asked the contractor what that was about, he really couldn't. He said that the 75-foot radius from the pole changed the amount of trimming, which it did not. It changed the number of trees that would be trimmed, but it did not change the amount of trimming per tree. So I was authorized by the committee at that meeting, the last meeting, to approve up to $11,000. But my feeling was that we approved the original, that on the basis of 155 per tree. And I felt I shouldn't approve it at 210 per tree without further discussion. So Paul, I think, made the decision that we should bring it back.
Well, yes, because, because it was a change of scope, because originally when Ed and I met with the contractor, we just talked about, specific area around the trees. So when the 75 feet on both sides of the light pole was introduced, it did kind of present a little change of scope, which is why the contractor, at least that's what he gave back to us as justification for the price increase per tree. So that being said, there was, because the change of scope and the price increase, I did want to bring that back to the subcommittee, but then it subsequently got put on P-PAC for consideration and they approved it.
They approved it to be paid by the safety committee.
Yes, and that was the other change.
So it sort of removed it from but it doesn't change the fact that, from my perspective, that
he's making more money doing less work.
he's trimming 30 trees that don't have anything to do with safety, which is, I think, the domain of this committee. But I'm pretty new, and so I'm kind of thinking of this as an opportunity to clarify roles, because that was a little confusing to me about where committees intersect. Yeah.
So this is Marty. So P-PAC also discussed we trim these trees every 2 years. So the question is, trees that don't really need the trimming now, are they going to need the trimming within that 2-year period? So then we have to pay additional cost for trimming those trees. So we considered that in our evaluation. Just go ahead and do all the trimming now.
I guess my concern with how this was handled was it was brought up at a P-PAC board meeting and it was not on the agenda. We had no input. Susan spent a lot of time and the contractor agreed that removing those trees would not impact the lighting. but the PPAC board went ahead without any input from landscaping committee. My original statement was it's not the money as much as whether or not we're doing the correct trimming for our community. And just to say, well, it's only another $1,200 to trim 40 more trees, I don't think is really a responsible landscaping response. So Susan has put together a roles and responsibilities, which includes how situations like this would be handled in the future. And PPAC is going to look at what she has put together for future use.
I don't know who is responsible for putting it on that agenda.
I did speak to Laura about this matter, because as Martin mentioned, there was a draft on roles and responsibilities, and there was some internal discussion within the district, pretty much saying maybe this is an item that PPAC should be bringing forward versus a subcommittee for discussion. So so Laura will bring this up in the next PPAC, meeting for discussion.
I think it's just a
Right.
good way to clarify roles and prevent sort of let's say encourage collaboration between committees where roles intersect, which is what would be my goal.
Right, and just to get some, further background, so the Safety and Security Subcommittee brought this item, given the fact it's a street light project, trees impact, the old street lights versus the new is completely different, height, coverage, illumination. That's what introduced the item or the issue about trimming the trees. So that's where we took the initiative to say, okay, let's get a contractor on board. And then later it was decided like, no, this is some landscape subcommittee item. We probably should get, their input and incorporate them in the discussion. So there was somewhat of a conflict between safety and security, wanting the safety and the lights to illuminate the streets versus maybe some of the aesthetics portion of the landscape. So that's where I think there was some confusion as far as the scope of work. And that's kind of what, led to where we are today.
I don't think there was, any pushback against safety issues and in terms of the lighting and the trimming. And my perception, correct me if I'm wrong, was that everyone on this committee supported the trimming of the trees for the lighting. It was just that,
Too many trees were gonna be trimmed.
too many trees that didn't impact lighting were being included in that.
This is Bruce. I spent quite a bit of time following up that last meeting. I did my own unofficial research, went out all different hours of the day, noon, 4-ish to 5:30, 8:30 at night. So I saw all different angles. I even went to a website that gave me the different angles of the sun on certain days.
You must be retired.
Yeah, I was bored. So I hate to be the bad guy, but I think the trees that are marked in green certainly should be trimmed back dramatically, but based on the time of day. For example, I guess that would be on the the south side of Pelican, around 5 o'clock, say on the town center side, if I'm misguiding it. The bushes, case in point here, they're the ones that are throwing the shade on those sidewalks. At noon, the sun is more direct or almost directly overhead based on time of year. It throws strictly shade from the trees in the middle island onto the street, leaving the sidewalks bare, unprotected for the sun. In the morning, on that same side, the town center side, there is no protection from the sun.
Are you
because it's
talking
coming up from the
between
east,
between Cypress and
town and
Town
the
Center?
gate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, because
Even the
between
Because the
Town
sun-
Center, and the gate on the south side, it's not as shaded as the north side, but the north side is considerably more shady.
And why?
During the
Because
day.
it's the trees that are sitting on the golf course, not so much the trees in question. So that's the only concern I have, was more of a safety issue, more at night than the shade issue during the day. Especially what really brought it to my attention was the recent sightings of these, we live in a wildlife refuge now. And I was out there one night and something fast went flying by me. I assumed it was a snake.
It was me.
Probably was. So I did spend several days doing it at different hours. But I was not here for a week. I came back, I saw the trees that I certainly thought should be trimmed as marked in green. So I'm happy it was clarified this morning, because that was a question.
Those were the ones,
Those were all good ones.
all of the green marked
They
trees.
hit the worst spots.
Yeah,
I agree 110% with those markings. But here again, my only concern was that we weren't truly looking wintertime versus spring. Wintertime, the sun sets differently, it'll be lower. How many people will be going out? The matter of shade, do we have benches in those areas? No. We walked through those 5 seconds. I even did in my own unscientific way, used my phone at night. Roughly 60 feet or so, give or take. I took a picture of a golf ball sitting on the sidewalk. If there was enough light on my phone, it would allow me to take the picture. If there wasn't enough light, I had to turn on my flash. That was my unscientific way to figure out the throw of the light. So to summarize it, I was gonna basically be the devil's advocate here, but I've now had to back down a little. If those trees marked in green, like I said before, I certainly agree those were the right trees. But I don't think the sun issue is so dramatic, because some of the shade is thrown by, not the trees.
I agree.
And that's all
Yeah.
but to see that, and I hate to put it this way, we came to a happy compromise by putting those green ribbons. I have no objection to what we're talking about.
The
I did
green, the green
originally.
ribbons are the 56 trees that we settled on. The PPAC committee, it's my understanding, approved 80 trees.
Mm.
So those trees, the difference
It's overkill.
is those aren't marked right now because we removed them. So I don't know what those trees will be.
The ones that I thought were dramatically
Those should be
in
trimmed.
need,
Yeah, those should be
especially
trimmed.
hurricane, I was thinking of, some of them
Mhm.
hang way over the streets.
Mark, can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
What was it you said we spent last year on tree trimming in Pelican? Was it 110,000? Okay,
Something like
Paul's
that.
confirming it was 110,000. So Bruce, just to your point, that this committee does spend a lot on tree trimming, to make sure that,
This is
they're
good.
healthy and they're kept.
No, I'm well aware.
Yeah,
But at the same time, they weren't done that well then, because
yeah, we talked about
The
that.
one-
There was areas definitely.
That were definitely missed, yeah.
I'm
And
not trying
I
to
think we
argue
need
for it.
to, I think that also is an opportunity, because when we looked back at the last vote for trimming prior to this estimate for the new project, it's really hard to hold the vendor accountable because there's not enough detail in the quote. In other words, they'll say on Pelican Boulevard or something like that. It's vague. So then when we go back through, Paul and the vendor and I went through, we could see there were trees that definitely should have been trimmed the last time, but didn't get trimmed. So I think we need more detail in the POs.
And that's, but
So this is Marty again. What is the objective of this discussion on tree trimming?
The objective, again, I started all this, the tree trimming decision is made. They're gonna trim 80 trees. That was already voted on, so that will be done. The objective was to talk about the fact that we had put together, that Susan Atkinson was going to meet and go through this and determine if the right number of trees and the right trees were going to be trimmed. And basically, her work was ignored. And it was voted on at a PPAC board meeting as a non-agenda item and just done. And we would like to have a say in the future if an issue like this comes up again. So at a future meeting, we will discuss the roles and responsibilities and how a difference of opinion like this between subcommittees will be handled.
This is
I
Bruce.
thought everybody should know what happened with tree trimming as opposed to just saying, well, 80 trees got approved and it's going to be done and that's the end of it.
And this is
Great.
Bruce, and I basically want to go on record as saying, I feel, what is the need of our subcommittee if we're not going to be paid attention to? I think that's kind of rude on the part of the people who've asked us to volunteer and aren't listening to us. So as
I would
a,
have listened if somebody showed up.
tell me to be there and I'd be there.
It wasn't on the agenda.
Exactly. And if we were advised, I'd be there, just like I was
Yeah,
aware
I
of
would-
the
I
meeting
would,
yesterday.
Now, is there a date when this is actually going to happen this time? When the tree trimming's going to take place?
We're waiting on schedule from the vendor. But the purchase order's been issued, it's in their queue to try to work into their schedule.
Yeah.
So maybe Mark needs to have a conversation with Peggy Hall.
Yeah, because in all honesty, I pay very good attention to agenda items, and if there's something I want to be part of, I'm there.
Yeah, I mean,
So I don't always voice my opinions, but I do get it, I'll send a letter, I'll send an email. And I just feel, what's the point of us sitting here?
Well, that's
Could be
why,
out doing
that's,
Something else.
How did
Yeah.
this get on our agenda?
that's,
For PPAC?
I don't remember. I looked back to see how did it.
who brought it to you? You're saying at the meeting?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't us, but yeah, somebody
I
brought it
mean,
to
you
you.
didn't pull this thing out of thin air.
Right.
Well, I just want to say, in the evolution, I've worked on a lot of boards, and in the evolution of a board, these things come up and it's an opportunity to clarify. And I think we can just take it and learn from it and go
It
forward.
was brought to PPAC for direction. Somebody was looking for direction.
yeah.
We provided that direction.
Mhm.
It was,
Now, when this does finally happen, is anybody going to supervise to make sure that we don't have to call them back a second, a third time?
Yes, I would have to be involved with that as well. So that's why I'm waiting for their schedule of when they're gonna start, so that
And who's going to identify the additional 30 trees?
I think everything's been marked to my understanding, of
There's-
what needs to be trimmed.
But that was that he removed all the stakes of the trees that
they're
were,
gone.
Yeah, the stakes are all gone, so it's just the trees themselves. So
but
what,
I'm saying, when you and I finished, there were 56 trees marked. So who's going to identify the additional 30 trees now that have been contracted to be trimmed?
You guys?
Not PPAC.
so
So
That would
why did
probably
PPAC
be-
get involved?
What was the original 80 that you guys identified?
yes, we identified, there was 80 trees originally, and that's what we're moving forward with. That's what was approved by PPAC, and that's what the vendor will address.
The 24 need to be remarked,
Yeah,
basically.
Yeah. We have to pick 24 more trees for them to trim that don't need to be trimmed. And I'm just saying, somebody needs to do that, because
That'd be, yes, I would take care of that.
yeah, maybe, Paul, you can find 24 more trees that need trimming that aren't gonna hinder.
you need.
I was involved in both.
You need-
Yeah,
Yes, there was a lot of time, and if I could just say, invested into this, because originally when we did the 80s trees, so I did spend time with the contractor and Ed Hedges. That's how we identified those original 80. Subsequently, Susan, myself, and the vendor met a second time to, identify the trees. the
That
56
impacted
or-
lighting.
Or so that
Mhm.
were included in the second quote, so.
We started this right with just a few hands in the pot, then it seems like way too many hands in the pot.
And that's where I think there's, the boundaries and the roles and responsibilities did kind of get gray because it's a safety security project, but also pertains to landscape. So I think that's where
right.
there's.
And the
there's that gray
50,
area.
the 51 trees that you and the vendor and I identified are safety and belong with the safety committee. It's
Yeah.
the
and I think
other-
That's where there's.
the other 30
discrepancy.
trees. Right.
So,
That is the problem.
Well, it's like the PPAC for us to give you direction, give somebody direction.
Yeah, but the cow's been let out of the barn already.
Well,
We have to
I don't
find.
know, we don't know where the 80 trees are, it's unfortunate, but we have to identify which trees this contractor is going to work on.
This is a prime example of the miscommunication occurred yesterday at the board meeting, which I was zoomed into. The question was asked by a community member about the park in Aviano, which we've addressed how many times? Oh, it was you, okay. It sounded weird. So that's been addressed already. Wasn't that pushed off to that community's HOA?
Mhm.
No,
Was
Yes,
it?
it was. By our understanding, it was.
it's owned by the community association.
But not the landscape committee, because basically that was the.
Not the landscape. committee.
Okay, because originally,
PPCA responsibility to pay their landscape contractor to do that.
okay, so
So
that,
They took the
Sorry.
initiative to remove all the dead growth. And they made some minimal effort with regard to the walkways. And I talked to Dave Hamilton yesterday after the meeting regarding the irrigation. Because I
that
don't
came
know
up.
what was done, irrigation. But my understanding is that park was on a battery system,
Yes,
and then the battery system discharged and had no irrigation, which is why all the landscaping died. So Dave said he's gonna contact the Ameriscape, which is PPCA's landscape contractor, to look at the irrigation in that park. But it
This is
not,
Mark.
it is not,
Me too.
PPAC, landscape subcommittee's responsibility for that park. That park is owned by the community association, and it's their responsibility for the landscape.
okay, the only
Yeah,
reason
good
this
to
Bruce, and the only reason I brought that up was due to the fact that there seemed to be confusion about that, and I thought it was no longer ours, because originally Aviana used to come after us, saying we should have had Ameriscape taking care of it,
No.
correcting all that. So,
We maintain the landscape or the GSPPE, PPAC maintained the landscaping until the end of the fiscal year last year. And then turned it over to the community association.
Okay.
That's what it was.
So,
And Faye took some initiative to clean out the work on the walkways.
okay, so we beat this one
Yeah.
to death.
Move on.
So let's move on.
Okay, this is Mark. Just one quick comment. You're right. We did take care of it for a while, and then PPCA now has responsibility. While we had responsibility, I swear we ran electric so they wouldn't have to stay on that battery system. And they were supposed to have switched over to a standard electric normal irrigation.
Still okay. Okay.
A couple more minutes. I,
So we got to move on because we're going to lose a member.
Yeah,
yeah, I'm sorry.
We
I
have
have
one
a,
have
I've
more.
been waiting for an appointment with a surgeon and I have an appointment at 10.
Okay, so
I've got to go.
I guess we'll do a motion, I don't know, to move on from the tree trimming discussion because
We
it's out
don't
of
need a
our.
motion, just move
There's
on.
no
Other than lower back to feedback discussion on the role of the subcommittees.
And somebody's going to identify the other 30 trees that
Yes.
must be trimmed now.
That will be done.
Okay, let's get on to the next one, the subcommittee new member selection recommendations.
Oh, so we had someone resign?
Pat, they're moving
Yeah,
back to
remember, so-
Arkansas.
Okay.
So Kathy has applied and here's her application.
I personally know her. Her property is pristine. She's out every day playing in the landscaping. She's willing to learn. She doesn't know a lot about the names of trees, shrubs, anything, but she does keep her place immaculate. So she's willing to commit to joining our team.
Sounds good to me.
A motion to approve.
Your motion,
You okay with with Kathy?
Mark?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. a motion to approve.
Put into motion that Kathy Sykes, was it,
Yes.
be approved for membership to this landscape subcommittee.
Susan Atkinson, I'll second.
I'll say aye.
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 Okay. She's very nice. E, landscape enhancements and plant replacements throughout Pelican Preserve. These are, I think, pretty well on Cypress and Prado area.
Yeah, so I just want to get some clarification because Bruce provided some quotes, and I think Vince and yes, Vince had provided some subsequent quotes. So between George and I, we kind of got a little confused with what to present because there's, I think, 17 quotes in
There
total.
are specific tiny little areas that they were supposed to.
And I think,
Greatview broke it down too much, but Greatview's price was cheaper than Ameriscape's price.
right,
And I tried to get, for Mark, I tried to get clarification from,
Are you gonna need a vote on this?
yes,
but we saw, I mean, we saw four. Yes.
Yes, you can go.
So-
You can go.
You can
I can
go.
go.
Yes, it's-
Sorry, I don't want to miss this appointment. Okay, nice to see you all. See you in September.
Yeah, it's a song, right?
About the trees.
It's an opportunity.
okay, so anyway, go
So
on
I
where
think
you're,
it's really we're down to just the two quotes, which is quote 21109 and then 19986. From Greatview are the ones I believe are the ones that need to be approved and considered.
That is correct.
yeah, I had Ameriscape's quote for all the work that we walked them through was 9,836. And Greatview for the same, roughly the same scope of work, a little different, was $6,878
25 cents.
and 25 cents.
Okay, I want to make sure we put into the record.
Yes.
So, right, so I think, like I said, I just need a motion with the specific quote estimation number so that I know what to issue as a purchase order to the vendor.
So it's,
Cindy Watterson, and these plantings are just specifically cypress and Prado.
yes, it'd be removing areas that the stuff are shot, there's dead trees.
I don't need, I just was clarifying because it's
Yeah.
not up there. It just says throughout Pelican Reserve. That's what I was clarifying,
True.
the area.
Yes, and the quotes are attached here, so I mean. I
That's
think
fine.
I can
No,
get them.
you're fine as long as it's on the quote.
Okay,
So you need a motion to approve the two?
To approve
One,
the
Oh,
great view.
Marty,
I just want to make sure you make a note in the meeting minutes that you lost the committee.
yes,
But you still have.
yes, I did make a note, thank you, Maureen. And 9:42 she left, so.
Okay, so Cindy Watterson making a motion to approve quote number 20109 in the amount of $6,878.25 to replace and plant in cypress and Prado.
somebody second it?
This is Bruce. I will second the motion to approve the Great View quote of $6,878.25 to go forward with the work.
I'll say aye.
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 Was there anything other than
Aye.
that? quote?
Oh, we got Mark.
Yep, the next estimate on there, which is 19986, is mine. It was also a Great View estimate. And what that is for is I asked for a quote on a Copernicus palm, which we have one along Pond 25, and I would like to mirror it with another one. It's also for a Vera wood tree, which is replacing that ligustrum that Bruce once replaced on Prado that's over half dead. It's for a Geiger tree, which is replacing a dead satin leaf tree close to the corner of Veneto and Pelican Reserve Boulevard. It's to put in 2 Alabuki viburnum, which have died in the Avila area, and put in 2 new powder puff bushes, which will go in the area close to the corner of Cypress and Pelican Preserve Boulevard, where we just planted the Bismarck palm and sago palms to start to fill in that area more. Or not sago, but sable.
Yep.
So that was my quote that I had put together. I requested a quote from Ameriscape and never heard back. But Greatview did respond, and as Vince said, their quotes are coming in lately substantially less than Ameriscape's. So I would like to go ahead with this project.
A motion to approve this.
Cindy Waterson, motion to approve 19986 for the amount of $2,121, replacing trees and bushes.
Vince Pichetto seconds it. I'll say aye.
Aye.
Just a quick thing, Mark. One of the new palm trees on the way on Prado, right next to the monument on by Casella.
On the center island.
It's I don't know the name of that type of palm tree. It's looking pretty rough.
It was just planted.
Is that a royal that we just put in?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
can you,
know we got to give it time, but it's got one new growth and the rest are all falling off.
okay, so that is the new palm that we just put in, replacing the,
The dead one that was right from the same spot.
okay. I'll send a note to Greatview. Obviously, we have a 1-year warranty on these, so.
They can just take a look at it. They might say, just give it time. It's rainy
Yeah.
season,
Okay,
but just
That's
to
fine.
note it's in rough shape.
Cindy Waterson, one other thing. On the Palazzo roundabout that we planted in the spring, we have 4 dead bushes. I put a ticket in for Ameriscape and I'm trying to get them to respond.
And that's a warranty.
Yes.
Okay.
Just to put on your list, Mark.
which bushes died?
Purple ones. I can't remember the name of them. They're
Tibachina.
Yeah.
I've had issues with those.
No,
Are there more than 4?
no.
Maybe replace it with something different.
Yes, that's what I'm hoping. Once, they answer my ticket.
That would help.
Okay, so those are all the work orders we've approved?
No, just the 2. Is there any additional?
None? Okay.
I do have an additional one that I would like approved. When they put in the Bismarck and the sable palms, they had to add additional irrigation they thought was there but wasn't. And the invoice for that is $320. And I would like to go ahead and pay that. I did tell them that I expected this to be in their bids in the future, as it's not allowing us to bid apples to apples if they come through with an additional expense afterwards. But I would like to go ahead and pay this. This is invoice number 20272 for $320 for irrigation on the Bismarck and sable palms.
Motion to pay the $320.
Cindy Waterson, second.
I'll say aye.
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 Cindy Waterson, quick question. I thought we gave you a certain amount that you could approve without us voting on. Did that go through?
No, well, not in the way we intended. The way it ended up is I have 3 chances to spend less than $10,000 in any given year without going through official subcommittee approval. And I also must get the PPAC chair's approval before I would spend that money. So I get 3 swings at projects without full subcommittee approval.
Sorry to hear that.
So was I.
That's crazy.
So Mark, this is Paul. Can I clarify this $320? Do you have that invoice with you, or did they submit that to you already?
Yes.
Okay.
And I will submit it with the PO request.
Okay, very good.
But
Just want to make sure.
Yeah, with that $10,000 cap, it's issues like this that concern me because our subcommittee has a lot smaller projects that come up that normally we just take care of.
Yeah,
So now we're faced with, okay, do we wait and save that last one, or do we go ahead and spend it the way we normally would, or, so we're just gonna have to get through this year and see how it goes.
Yes, Mark, you're gonna have to uproot more of your plants to plant all over the community.
so Cindy, just to clarify, my new zone's gonna be the front gate. So basically, I really can't start to do anything until we approve it in October, correct? Because
You can go ahead and,
But
I get 3 swings. So if you put together a large project, I could go ahead and approve it with the PPAC board chairman approval, up to $10,000. So we do have ability to do some. And there's also an emergency provision, which I assume they'll let me use for irrigation problems, because those come up every month where it's a few $100s here and a few $100s there. I'm assuming they will approve those under emergency just to get the irrigation working.
okay,
So don't take all his swings away.
yeah, these small little projects instead. Got it.
Yeah, we need big ones if we can.
Yes, got it. Just want to start off.
Not that you need to go spend a lot of money, Cindy. That's not my intent there.
I get
It's
it.
not like going to Costco.
So this is Patricia Zimmerman, PTAC member. We'll clarify this again at our meeting. But it was without having your subcommittee vote on these things. Every time you guys vote on something and approve it, that's okay with us. It's just if Mark is in a position where he needs to do something that he doesn't have time to vote on, then he has the permission to do it.
Well, like in my case, I've been given the front gate, so I want to make some changes before season starts. But we're not meeting till October, which is season. So that's where I wanted to clarify, can I spend a little money and that falls under his 10,000? Just be careful what I
Because you
spend.
guys are not unique.
Right, exactly.
You know, this is Ted Greenley. I'm a new member. I'm just curious, why do we not meet in the summer?
We don't have enough people.
No.
He's gone, I'm gone.
Okay.
I'm partially
He's gone.
gone. We don't have a quorum.
So
Okay,
we're on to the sod restoration projects on Pelican Reserve Boulevard. I guess that's repairing where all the lights.
Yes, all the old lights and around the new lights. And originally I presented an item maybe a month or two ago, and the quantities were extremely high. And there was a lot of questions from the subcommittee. This is Mark sought out a new quote for $1,200. This will be charged to the streetlight project. It will not be charged against the landscape project. So I just want to be make that clear. Also, it goes back to it's a safety and security project, but also affects landscaping. So that's why it's on your agenda, but it will be charged to safety and security streetlight project. So I would just like to get a motion for approval
So a motion to
or
approve
discussion. Sorry.
the discussion about the replacement of sod going to the streetlight budget, not our budget.
Yes, it will go to the streetlight project itself.
Cindy Watterson, second the motion.
I'll say aye.
Aye.
I
Okay, number 8. Is there any staff updates?
Yeah, so streetlights, I know we're probably tired of talking about that, but so the outstanding items is that they are going to paint the poles that are scuffed up. That's why they're have paper on them. Yesterday I did meet with FPL. We are going to decommission the old infrastructure for the old streetlights, which will entail removing all the old pedestals where the electric meters were located at. So those will be taken out. They will be removed so that those assets will never be used again. And there's no purpose to have them anymore in the the community. It would just create clutter and also become confusion in the future should someone want to get some sort of electric service. So that's, that was done yesterday. So Bentley will be in the process of removing, the old infrastructure, electrical, infrastructure there. And then the sod is, will be the last remaining thing, kind of fully closed out, the streetlight project.
Hey, Paul,
Yes,
have
sir.
all those circuits been de-energized already?
Yes, sir. They were de-energized yesterday when I went with,
Okay,
through the community with that now.
okay, and we didn't lose any more pedestals or monuments or anything?
No,
Okay.
not to my knowledge, but I think everything was de-energized, a month ago or so. So we
Okay.
let them take any issues from there. The Pelican Preserve, the Boulevard Mill and Resurface, the bids were submitted received yesterday. It is going to Safety and Security Subcommittee next week for approval. Tetra Tech will provide a recommendation to the vendor. But the scope of the project is not just the mill and resurface of Pelican Reserve from tree line up to the four-way stop. It also includes implementing the bike lane project, also restriping all of the road markings throughout the community. So that project will vastly, make some good changes within the community. So
And the Prado Rotary. And the Prado Rotary.
yes, and the Prado lane changes there around the roundabout. It'll improve safety there as well. So it's all inclusive. So so next Wednesday, the safety security will review those bids.
Is there a tentative date when they're gonna actually get to it?
Not yet. I mean, there's a schedule, so the board approval, if everything goes well, it's June 18th. So we'll, meet with the contractor soon after that and then try to get a schedule. We'll share it with you. But the sooner the better. I know everyone's anxious to get that project going. The next thing is the grants. Last month's meeting, we mentioned about the issue with the electrical panel that was rusted out and having it replaced by Bentley Electric to see if we could find any sort of grants. In my research, the only thing I could find, and FPNL does have grants, and there's also some feeding grants, but it really has to do with, disaster and storm related or hardening of FPNL infrastructure, not so much the electrical equipment on our side. So there's nothing that was easily identified. I want to share that. And then the last thing that I just kind of want to mention, which is not on the staff updates, is the uplighting at the roundabouts, because I think last month's meeting, Cindy had put together, a good package, and it was then put upon Public Works to do the installation of those uplighting. And what initially, to me, what I thought was a simple project ended up becoming just a little bit complex. So I do need to get a little more clarification and some direction as far as what type of lights. And I know, Vince, now that I have a good contact information from you, that I can reach out to you and kind of get some better direction on what kind of lights you're looking for. And also, I would like to get some direction as far as do we install conduits as part of the project? And because the $2,000 would not cover all of that cost. So, trying to make it simple, but at the same token, at the same side, try to make it where we can maintain it and have longevity for the uplighting. So I just want to bring that up to the subcommittee to give me some, direction, some guidance on that.
Well, if we go, like if we start bringing in conduits, which again will protect the wires and everything, that'll double, triple the cost.
It will increase it. And then also the question was, because I reached out to Bentley Electric just to get some guidance. Like, look, I got a project. We want to do uplighting simple. And then he started asking me questions regarding, do we want a dedicated circuit for this, or do we use the outlets? And then it also got into the conduits as well. And then also includes getting permitting as well. So it's it's not as simple as I originally thought, because I thought, okay, subcommittee was gonna look into this. We should be able to do it easily, and so that's kind of how it got a little
So
complex.
Paul, where is this located?
3 roundabouts.
The 3 roundabouts.
Bentley said they could tap off of the existing electric I just have put in.
Yeah.
In all 3 roundabouts. If it's low voltage wire, they only have to bury it 6 inches.
Mhm.
I looked at commercial lights at a place on Metro, but they're not low voltage. I can get 10 lights for $695. Their quote is $2,500 per roundabout to tap in, bury the wire, and give us low voltage, 3 low voltage lights per roundabout.
That's nothing.
Extreme. Well, 3 would be okay.
This one, you've got 10 stems.
Well, some of them though, they shoot 40, 50 feet.
Yeah.
These lights. So you would have enough, they have no lights now, you would have enough lighting. But I think that's astronomical to pay $2,500. We didn't even pay that to get the electric there. So I certainly understand that we want to go more commercial and we want the longevity, but at the same time, we want to bring this in for a price. The lights I saw were very nice, very, very nice lights. But like, again, they're not gonna be the low, volume that we want to keep electrical costs down. So we went from the presentation where I was gonna just use the existing and plug them in and set them up and where are we going now? Where do we want to
And
go?
why do we need a permit?
Because it's a new, and you're introducing something new, and that's kind of where the public works team was a little challenged, is that we maintain, but when you start adding in additional equipment and infrastructure, then it becomes,
You see, we didn't need a permit to add the electric to the roundabouts. We had no permits because we tapped in from existing.
Okay.
It was- oh,
And are you gonna need a permit for your, in the medium? You've already put the power in, all you're doing is sticking a couple lights.
No, we're already done with that. There was no permit needed for that job either.
okay, so all I need is which particular lights are you, wanting us to do, and then maybe I can work with you, Cindy, now that, because you were out of town for a while, and then.
I'm out of town till July.
A little difficult to try to reach, so as long as I have a line of communication and some guidance, maybe we could try to get this done fairly soon.
And
I do apologize, it took a while, but there was,
Don't worry about it.
there was some, I had reached out a few times, and I didn't want to do anything without, some approvals and at least a check and balance on this, so.
Like the place you found, what were the warranty on the, like, is the ones that from Site One John Deere, their lifetime warranty?
I don't know. I have to picture the box. It was Central Electric that I
Okay.
went to. And you went to where, John Deere?
Site One John Deere.
Site One, John.
And I have an account there, so I get them at wholesale, which you probably get things at. Right next door to Ace Hardware.
Yeah.
So if I could be provided some of that information, I'd greatly appreciate it.
Sure.
So that
Do
we
some
know.
more work.
Right.
I'm in town now till July.
Okay,
so
perfect. Yes.
We'll get something done.
Right.
Okay. And we still want the low voltage.
Yep.
Are we looking to still use Bentley to tap into the boxes? Because most lights will not plug in if you go commercial. They're all hardwired.
The ones that I use at the Site One, I just retap an end on them, snip them into the cable and use a transformer, and I plug into the box.
Okay, so that's the exact same thing that I found at Lowe's.
Yeah.
So what's the difference between Site One and the Lowe's project?
The commercial ones they're just
It does say
heavier.
commercial.
They're just heavier duty, and
Okay.
I don't think
So-
Hampton Bays aren't lifetime warranty and stuff.
Okay, so,
My house, which doesn't do the job.
okay, so,
And then with the ones I use, you can get 30 angle beam, you get 60 angle beam. All bulbs are different. Where Home Depot, Lowe's, they're just the bulbs are the bulbs.
okay, so we're gonna still need to put in transformers and run some, line to, would the maintenance crew be able to do that, or will we have to bring Bentley in?
It would be Bentley. I would strongly recommend bringing Bentley and for them to do that.
And you need the transformer for the timer.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Thank
and you
you,
want to
no matter
use like
what.
a good PVC. You want to use something good.
Durable.
you know, like a 4x4, 6x6.
I had that in my original.
Yeah.
But we were hoping to use the maintenance to save the cost.
Yeah.
You know, just because, what are we using Bentley for? To put a 4x4 in and put a transformer on it? And then bury a little bit of the cord? I mean, that, to me, it doesn't fall under.
Right, yeah, I mean, the
electrical.
4x4 that's, we could do that.
I mean, that's basic. Difference in lights is the only difference
Right.
we have going
Yeah.
on.
Right.
Same project, same idea,
Same scope.
same
everything.
scope. It's just a different light. Whereas, you know, you're just gonna bury a little bit of a post, put that transformer on and then run, and then I unplug it at Christmas time when we do
Okay.
lights. So can we leave Bentley out? Cause I think we could do it for a much better price if we do.
If we could, we could try. Yes, we could try. I mean, I hate to be.
Do you want me to go out there with that?
No,
maintenance
it's
guy?
just, I just need some guidance, as far as what.
Now, this is Ted. I've got a lot of low voltage lights in my yard. And one of my concerns is that the maintenance people are always bumping those low voltage lights. So when you attach them, you have to have a really secure fitting. You don't want the simple type that just clips onto the cable because they'll knock it loose all the time. And I strongly suggest the commercial grade light. It's worth the difference.
Mhm.
The ones from Lowe's, whatever, they have a very short life expectancy.
Yep, so I'll check that out. If I have to, use your account.
Mhm.
Do you want me to email you or what, how do you want me to contact you? And then,
Cause they'll ask me, they'll like, cause I'm numbered, there's 3 names on my account in Buffalo. And so anyway, I'll fill all that out for you.
and that way I'll just say, here's what we're buying, save us some money. And then we
I
try,
mean, we could purchase it through the district. It's just, I need to know what,
but you're gonna pay more than him. Because he has
You
it.
probably, you have an,
Do you have the account at site one?
for
no, but
irrigation.
we don't pay sales tax. So,
Okay,
I mean, there should be some savings there
okay,
being a governmental agency.
all
I
right.
mean, you guys are Gateway, you could instantly open an account for site one John Deere.
We may have it, I'm not sure. I mean, I
Okay.
can check.
All right,
We don't
well.
pay sales tax.
So I'll go down, check it out. I'll get with you
Yes,
and then we can get this rolling.
Yes,
So that
yes.
before it gets too wet, you know,
exactly.
because they're gonna have to bury those 4x4s.
That'll
Hey,
get you in the
Paul?
front, that'll get you in the front
Yes,
door.
yes, sir.
Do we still get like 40 hours a week, labor hours from Gateway?
You guys coming through the window.
Dave. Yeah, I'm not sure. This is a volunteer. I'm.
No, we used to-
Yeah, we used to get the maintenance guy for 40 hours a week.
Oh,
Yeah, and I used to get a report on that every month, and I haven't seen that in quite a while.
no, we got away from, documenting the hours. But I do believe that's something that, Bob Gepper brought up in the last board meeting. So I do think we're gonna go back to some sort of system of some sort on reporting the hours spent here.
Okay,
But yes, I mean, our team, is here quite a bit. Addressing issues across the board.
Any other staff updates?
No.
Okay, any member items and reports? Nothing? Let's set the date for the next meeting. I guess will be October 22nd at 9 AM. No meetings during the summer, where none of us are gonna be here. So a motion to accept the next meeting, October 22nd.
Cindy Waterston, motion.
Yeah, we
You
don't.
don't need a motion.
Yeah, we don't need
Yeah.
a motion.
I like
We need a
motion.
motion to adjourn.
You can do a
Motion.
motion.
Okay, let's do a motion to move on, enjoy the summer and everybody be safe.
Cindy Waterston, second the motion.
I second it. I'll say aye.
I.
Yeah, in,
hey, Vin-
Well,
hey,
Mark,
Vince?
yes, sir.